Andy, God bless you. I love you, my friend, and I just want to give you a huge heart hug whenever I know that these situations are hard for you, and in a way you kind of have to you relive it, especially when you've been working so hard to prevent these things from happening again. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. And right back at you. I love you and your family also. And you know what's you touched on something it's at the top of the list is the mental health in this country. Okay, but it goes deeper than that. So what's going on now, and you know my wife Julie, she's in the ER
Yes.
physician. What goes on with mental health? I'm going to give you a statistic. Over the last 25 years, 50% of the shooters, with the mass shootings, were already seeing mental health counselors. Okay, and not one was deemed a threat to themselves or to others. So if you just put someone in mental health, right, and you know this stuff, and then they don't get dinged on their background, it doesn't do anything. It defeats the whole purpose of them seeing these mental health counselors. So it bothers me so much when you see like this Biden just came out with this executive order against these reforms with the police departments. I believe that in the country right now, it's more the mental health counselors and that system that is failing us, allowing these people that it's a fine line, Dana, between mentally ill and evil. It's like very close, some of these people, and they're allowed to go and purchase a rifle legally, no matter what counselor they see, and so it defeats the purpose. You could have all the bills in the planet going through on mental health, more money, but if they don't go through the full extent of that Baker Act where they get in front of the judge and it goes on their background, they're still able, a lot of these people, they're able to go and purchase a firearm. And that's the biggest problem that I see right now.
And one of the things, too, talking with Andy Pollack, one of the things that in the years since Parkland that we discovered, too, is that adjudicating someone mentally unfit, now that's a classification of someone who is ineligible to purchase or carry. But yet not all of those cases are reported to the National Crime Information Center. That's the clearinghouse of people who are prohibited possessors. That's what, when someone goes and purchases a firearm and it goes through NICS, that's what it pulls information from. And it was shocking to discover how many of those cases actually aren't reported because there's not a lot of a penalty for states that actually don't report all their cases. And I know that you were shocked because you were talking about that before too.
Yeah, and it's the biggest thing. Like Julie in the ER, she'll see a person like that comes in like that at least once every 2 months. And that's just her seeing someone
Wow.
that's capable of going out, that's evil, mentally sick, threatening people, and released out of the hospital within a day. Like, look at that Buffalo shooting. It's very similar to when my daughter was murdered. And people, they're shouting now more gun laws. Okay, so in Buffalo, at the shooter at that market, he threatened to shoot his school up, right, when he was a senior, and he wasn't arrested. You know how sick that gets me? You know, I think in Florida they learned their lesson. You know, if you threaten to shoot a school up, I know all these sheriffs, you're getting arrested in Florida. There's no way.
And in New York, they had a law on that, but they reduced the age for criminal penalty they increased the age from 17 to 18, and that's why they didn't arrest him.
Yeah. So, and then they don't look at this stuff. They want, you know, how many gun laws are on the books in New York? It's like impossible to get a gun in New York, and then they want to look at gun laws, but when people break the law and they're not reported and not arrested and it doesn't go on their background, any gun law in the world's not going to work. No. It doesn't matter what if they don't have it on their background. So it makes me sick. You know, what happened now in Texas, you know, I had a guy, I was on the air this morning and they call me and they say, well, we were checking, we wanted to see how you feel. Well, now I'm sick over the whole thing because there's 19 other people in my club that have dead children. They're never going to be the same, and it sickens me. I think I'm telling you the truth, I think I lost years off my life because of the last few days, how I felt and what I'm trying to get the message out. And also in Texas, what hurt me, Dana, was remember the shooting in Santa Fe in May of 18?
Yes.
So Texas didn't learn anything. Like, you know what I mean? Florida, you're not getting into. I'm really certain in Florida that after, you see, remember the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Commission that Governor
Yes.
Scott put into place? They didn't go attacking. When I met with Rick Scott and all the state legislators. They didn't go just looking at guns. They didn't listen to the media, which was great. They didn't follow those kids that never got anything accomplished. They wanted to know what happened in Parkland and the failures. So they put that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Commission together of experts throughout the whole state. They found out what was wrong, and then they made changes in the state. Evidently, they didn't do this in Texas after Santa Fe.
Yeah, we're talking with Andy Pollack, who lost his daughter. His daughter was murdered in Parkland, and he's been working tirelessly on fortifying schools and increasing security awareness. That's the thing, Andy, when I was reading about just some of the details as they were being released, the thing that I could not get past, unlocked door. 4-foot-tall fence, doors unlocked, and the murderer apparently was able to access the school because of just an unlocked door. And as you just said, you know, after Santa Fe and after Buffalo, after Parkland, after Sandy Hook, the basic things, if people don't even want an SRO, the basic things we can do is having a locked door, knowing who's in the building.
That's it. It's simple. And you know, I've seen a lot of schools in my lifetime that's changed. They have two doors. They buzz you in the first set of doors. You go into like a lobby area, a holding area. You show your ID. Your son's schools probably have this. They have a key fob or they show ID, and then they go through the next set of doors. There's no access to the building anywhere ever. So it really irks me that this happened, and now there's 19 families in my boat again that they'll never be the same.
And I'm heartsick for you over this because I can imagine, and you've done a lot because you've talked to a number of people. You and Max Eden covered this in your book, Why Meadow Died, which is available everywhere, and it gets into all of the policies because the policies that were creating a lot of this too. You know, that's the other thing. This murderer apparently was known to law enforcement, was known in the community to be incredibly troublesome, had been in fights, had apparently one report that I read from a local publication that he was kind of threatening to the female employees. He had worked at a Wendy's, and the school had this monitoring system for the social media for all of their students. And this murderer had apparently been posting some pretty questionable stuff, when you consider his behavior too, very questionable stuff on his social media profiles. And I'm just wondering, you know, why was nothing ever said or done if it was that bad that cops were going to his grandparents' house because he was fighting with people?
Yeah, well, maybe we don't know yet because like in Parkland, how many kids said with my daughter's murderer, how many times he threatened people and it came out, you know, and it could be the same situation, Dana. It's too early to tell, you know, if they reported it. You know, this monster that killed my daughter, there was numerous times that it was reported, 45 trips to his house with the sheriff's department. So all this takes time. It's only a few days. All of it's going to come out. The video is going to come out. You know, I'm hearing now that the police, it took them over 40 minutes to an hour to reach the shooter. But I just was talking to a buddy of mine who's a Navy SEAL, and he said those doors are almost impossible to breach unless you have like a shotgun breaching shell.
Yeah.
And so we'll see on the video. You know, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but they should have been trying to get in for that whole time, and time will tell.
Yeah. Andy, I want you to tell people how they can help you expand your advocacy for school security, school safety, and what you need from people to help fortify the schools in our country.
Sure. I teamed up with a company. It's called Byrna, Byrna. So you could go to Byrna.com/school safety. And we could go visit schools. We could help them set up in case there is an active shooting. We'll be happy to help any school. They could reach out to us. What's awesome, too, I'm going to be sending you, for your children, these shields. It's called the Byrna Shield. It weighs less than a pound. And you could put it in your backpack, your child's backpack, adult's backpack, and it makes it bulletproof. And it's interchangeable. So I've been working tirelessly on things that that could make a difference, and I want parents to do their homework, okay? I want you, after you drop your child off at school, you make sure that you can't get back in. That's number one.
That's a great
And number
point.
two, they have armed security, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually, like, after you drop your kids off at school, see if you can get back in. Like, just turn around and go. That's a really good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, parents want to know what you can do. Well, that's one thing. Number two is, there should be, in Florida with that Senate bill we got passed, it's one police officer or guardian per 500 students, which was great. That was with me and Ryan Petty helped get that bill passed in Tallahassee for that. They have the Guardian program. I know you have similar programs like this in Texas. You need plainclothes people that carry in schools is a plus. So, because just having one, I think they had one in Texas. One's not enough.
Yeah.
You need more than one officer in a school.
Andy Pollack, God love you, my friend. God bless your family. And I'm with you. I'm just giving you the biggest hug, you and Julie and your family, the biggest hug, because I know it's so hard to go through all of this. If there's anything I can ever, we're always here for you, and we all talk back to you. You know that we're family and we're here for you always.
Yep. I appreciate it, Dana.